People everywhere have flocked to the cinemas to watch Superman. Why? I don't know. This movie was not that good, to be honest.
Oh
I
God.
can't wait to talk about it. Jason loved Superman. What a movie it was for him. It's made quite a lot of money at the box office. It seems like it's going to settle around the 700 million mark or so. And it has brought on the era of the DCU by James Gunn. A lot of thoughts about this. Jason, I want to let you gush if you want to gush about this movie. There are some things I really liked about the movie, but when I say some, I mean like 2 or 3. So go ahead, tell everyone how great it was, because you're representing the audience right now. Most people like this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
There are curmudgeon-y troglodytes like myself that are just like, James Gunn, go away.
Yeah, Snyder fighters, you Snyder
Not a
lovers.
Snyder guy.
We're we're gonna fight for Snyder. Bring back the Snyder cut of anything else. God, yeah. Remember those Snyder movies? The last Batman ones were not good. So I'd like the Batman vs Superman was not a good movie. I don't want to hear that shit. Yeah, I had a great time. But honestly, when I texted you guys, I did say that I really, really liked it. Didn't love it, is what I said. But honestly, after talking with a couple people and like gushing over it with everyone else that's seen it, I think I do love it now, and it does feel like the first like real comic book movie that we've gotten in a while, where it isn't like someone's vision of Superman, or let's darken it down, or let's play a bunch of music and have him run around all the time,
Did we
which
watch
I
the
thought
Thing
was going to
movie?
happen. I thought it was going to happen, but this felt like a comic book movie, and I felt like it was unapologetic. It was like fast and hard and like action and breakneck speed on some stuff, which was a little hard when we did hit like the brakes and have some of those slower ones, but scenes. But all in all, this was exactly what I wanted, and I got it. Mm. Let's go. Let's go. I really rather defend what you guys hated, because I'm really more interested in how you can pick apart this great rendition of Superman.
I mean, where to begin? If this is the peak of your Superman enjoyment, then I'm you have no standards. You have no standards. I mean, this is like Superman gets his ass kicked for 2 hours? That's your best Superman? Seeing Superman look like I don't even know who to compare him to. Somebody that just gets
Human.
beat up.
Making him look human.
Guess what, Jason? He's not human.
I know, that's
the
the whole
whole
thing, is
point.
that it was making an alien more
At
human.
no point do I get the vibe like this is the strongest being in the universe. At no point. You should feel that in a Superman movie, and I never felt that. He gets beat up by himself, the clone of himself, because Lex Luthor has a 52-point plan on how he's going to take Superman down. And it's the most complicated plan. It's so complicated that nobody understands it, not even Lex Luthor himself. All for the point of owning a small country? The Gaza Strip? I mean, the Juniper Strip? The Jabba Wabba Strip? Whatever it's called?
Janapur.
This movie is such a mess. Is such a mess. There's not even a first, second, and third act. There's just like a bunch of stuff that happens and then the end. And it's just one thing happening after the next, after the next, after the next, and there's no flow to the movie. That's mostly just the director's fault. James Gunn, I think, is really the biggest problem here is overstuffing a movie. But yeah, like I actually think the actors for the most part do a really good job, and I think that they're pretty well cast. And I really just think it's James Gunn just being up his own ass so much. Again, he isn't trying to do a bad job. I know he does genuinely care about the project. I just think he has risen to levels of fame and accomplishment that he should never have touched. But he got lucky. He got very, very lucky with the Guardians franchise. And now it's just he's living in a bubble of being a writer-director for all his own projects, and he can't get out of his own way. And this movie just showcases that. We can get into details, but that's my general vibe.
I do agree. The best part of the movie is the cast. I didn't see one person argue about David Corenswet's performance. Everyone loves. I thought he was great. He was great. Rachel Brosnahan, I thought, was tremendous as Lois Lane. A lot of the characters, which unfortunately there are just way too many characters, and that is the problem. Is that this movie right from the get-go, they give you the catch up with the different there's a screen, and they catch you up to date on what's happened. It says like 3,000 years ago this happened.
300 years,
300
30
years ago there was
days,
medic
3
humans.
hours. Yeah.
And they keep doing this, and they introduce you, and then the first thing you see is Superman falling out of the sky, beat up. And if I did not know Crypto was in this movie, and the first thing I see in 2 minutes is a storm of snow coming through the wilderness, and it's a dog running at Mach 5 speeds, I would have walked out of the theater. But I already knew, and I just want to get stupid Crypto out of the way. If you're a dog lover, if you watch the trailer and you watched Crypto, you already know whether or not you like Crypto. Like, it's simple as that. If you are the kind of person that loves your dog, you love sleeping in bed with your dog, you love your dog to drop his nuts on your face in the morning to wake you up, if you're that person, then this movie clearly was for you. But actually, I thought the CGI on Crypto was actually incredible. He looked as good a real life animal can look in CGI, and he wasn't really that annoying. He was annoying, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. What ruined the movie was James Gunn adding 30 million characters to this. Superman doesn't even have the greatest moments. The greatest moments are given to Mr. Terrific, and who is great, and to Green Lantern, who is great. But those guys who have 2 God mode moments, and Superman has none. Virtually has none to his name. And I think that's where the movie falls apart. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Superman is the only name on the marquee, and for some reason, he's not even like the most important character. So the movie's just a mess of James Gunn being James Gunn and wanting to make a ragtag movie when really it needs a central focus on Superman.
We had this argument in the last video. I mean, Mr. Terrific can't get his own movie. We're never going to get another Green Lantern movie. We're never going to get a Lex Luthor movie. We're never going to get like these characters starring in their own. So Superman is the
Jason, actually, Mr. Terrific has already been reserved to be a movie.
Oh shit, really?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a movie. I think I saw today that it was supposed to be a series.
Oh, okay. Well,
my point being though, they never would have greenlit a Green Lantern movie, Green Lantern a movie. After having, you have to have something like this first. You know, it's like this is a vehicle for the DCEU. What was it? And it was EU, and now it's U.
Right.
Is that what we're doing?
So drop the E. It's cleaner. DCU.
We couldn't have had a Superman and Friends. It wasn't going to be the Justice Gang. It wasn't going to be Justice League movie. Like that wouldn't have got made. It had to be a Superman movie. And then this is what, okay, James Gunn, you're starting off the DCU now. And yes, it was a little bait and switch, but I don't feel like any of us didn't expect that going in, that this was going to be just stuffed with characters. But you pick up any comic book, it doesn't have Superman on every panel. It is usually Superman and Friends. It's some team of him doing things. So that's why this felt so much like a comic book movie, because you do have a character just flying in, helping out, and then leaving, and you get some asterisks at the bottom of the comic book that says this character helped out Superman in 687. If you want the rest of the story, go back to that one and read it. You know, it doesn't hold your hand in the comic book, and it didn't hold our hands in the movie either. It's like, no, you need to do some research on these other characters, or you and your friend seeing Absorbing Man, no, Metamorpho, what was his name, like that, Metamorpho, like that's a cool random character that had no introduction or anything, but I imagine there is a huge percentage of DC comic fans that were giddy seeing that character on screen, you know. So it's like, it's that nostalgia, the member berry things I know you guys don't hate, or don't love, but that's what this was. It was just that, those good feels on things that we already knew, you know. And then now this is going to be a terrific show, a hot girl movie, a Supergirl movie, an actual, maybe more of a Superman movie coming after this. But this was just the Justice Gang. It's almost, I'm surprised they're not doing the Thunderbolt shit where they're now changing the name of the movie to Justice Gang, which I thought was a lovely twist.
I do agree,
Nicholas
Jason. I
Holt,
think
or sorry, go ahead.
I will cede to you. I think that is actually a really good point you made. There are the way comics are constructed that they constantly are intertwining other characters and trying to get you to buy different comics and read other storylines of whoever shows up, and that is a facet of comics. And I think that's a fair perspective to have. If it wasn't that Superman specific story in the movie is like the lamest part of the movie, other than Crypto. But it's just Remy said he's always getting his ass whooped, and you never truly have a God mode, him being this great man of steel. He's like the man of like tissue paper, because you never get the sense of like, this is the guy that's gonna save us all, and it's not David Cornsweat's fault. He's great, but I just felt like James Gunn lowered him to make these other characters that nobody has ever heard of outside of DC fans up until today, to raise them. And I don't think that did the movie justice, Remy.
Yeah, no, it isn't. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it's different superheroes have different ceilings, right? So like seeing God mode Spider-Man is going to look a lot different and feel a lot different on a screen than God mode Superman. You need at least one moment in a Superman movie where it feels like he's completely perfectly unstoppable. And we don't get that. Like, he's just fighting to survive the whole time. Like, he's getting in no way, her powers are interesting. The engineer's powers are interesting, even if the actress is corny as fuck. But it's like, nothing about that. I'm just like, what is preventing him from just melting her into melting her into molten whatever nanobites? Like, there's moments where he really should be going Homelander and just vaporizing fools and blasting through people like it's nothing, and it doesn't really happen. The only thing that happens is when he fights like the robots guys. So, which is just weak. Even beating himself, the only reason he beats other Superman is because Crypto saves him. Crypto has again, just so corny. Crypto eating cameras is what saves Superman. Like, it's not him figuring anything out. It's just the dog eating cameras. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate. I do feel like David Cornsweat is just going to constantly be hindered in this movie and in movies going forward. Because if you're not going to make him cool in his own movie, I highly doubt they're going to really put a big spotlight on him in the future. James Gunn has basically already said they're not doing a Superman sequel. It's going to be something else. So most likely a Justice Gang movie, I would assume. And it's unfortunate, a waste, because yeah, I feel like the potential is there. Coming off from Henry Cavill, we have high expectations of like what the next guy's going to be. And it seems like maybe we'll just never really, really know. And instead, we're going to get drunk, stupid Supergirl. This is James Gunn's big-ass, brilliant idea, is I'm going to have a movie about Supergirl. And the most important thing you need to know about her is she's dumb and she's a drunk. That is the most exciting thing I could think of. I mean, Jesus, Louises. Gunn has no fucking idea what he's doing. And the more I think about it, the more angry I get. I think it's just because getting everything set up today was I really just fucking hate his vision for DCU. It's just Guardians of the Galaxy. He can't make anything that's not that. And everything's a joke. Everything's a fucking joke, except for very, very corny, stupid, salt of the earth, Kansas. Well, Clark, I just want you to know I'm so proud of you, and there's no context to this conversation at all. God, man, that was so corny, so bad. No, it's the most shallow characters ever, dude.
Yeah, I want my Pa Kent to be Kevin Costner, because he looks like he's salt of the earth. He was on a farm all of his life.
Kevin Costner, like literally let them die so you can go another month without being Superman.
Yeah, bring back Kevin. Oh, Remy. Oh, Remy. This universe is not made for you.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's like what we said too. It's like it's a different demographic. It's a different, vision, a different style of it, and it's not the Superman smashing through buildings. That's just another thing that I was so different to this one of how they valued human life in this one, like compared to
Did we watch the same movie?
wait, how much they like were holding buildings from falling, and they were worried about the kaiju falling and things like that. And then the other Superman movies, I was like, they blasted through how many buildings in that fight with Zod, in the old Batman vs Superman, or was it just Superman? But like the amount of destruction that was in the other ones, where they felt like we're more conscious of that here, because that was the whole point of this movie, and I guess that was lost on you guys was the human factor of Superman. Because my whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, this was the All-Star Superman, the comic book, which I didn't read, but from looking at the covers and flipping through the pages, it is is it 50s cartoon Superman, where it was the black and white one where it came up, where Superman was like that big chest and the lights behind him, and it just him like doing that little leap over the building, and then stopping the train. That is the Superman that we have. That's not some like flexing of huge power of stopping some volcano from erupting. This is just being that golden image of like what someone wants a superhero to be. It's not these huge flex of powers. It's more of the image that you are. And that was the whole like point of this, was humanizing him, and the conversations and arguments that he had with Lois, and then how he was treated by the random citizens, helping him out of that hole or throwing, beer cans at his head. It was all of this, like the human factor of what it would be like to be a superhero. So yeah, it wasn't about like, the big explosions and the punching the kaijus as much, it was that humanizing factor, which I enjoyed.
I completely disagree with your setup. There's two major problems with the movie. One is the writing. Two is the directing. The directing, to me, was jarringly bad. And so it was a major talking point from the Snyderverse, from Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, where Superman flies through the city with Zod and wrecks the whole city. And it's like, the movie ends and it's like, how many millions are dead now? Like, it was very jarring. And I thought that we kind of learned from that, being like, oh, you gotta, if that's what you're doing, then it needs to feel like it's an apocalypse, not that it's just another day in Metropolis. And in this Metropolis, there are horrifying things happening every day, and nobody's reacting to it. And I don't mean like, oh, this is normal. Like, we see, if you live in a war zone, if you grow up in the Middle East, where they have been killing each other for thousands of years, 10-year-olds don't watch a bomb go off in a cafe and be like, I think I'll get ice cream today. Like, it's still a horrifying, horrible thing. And yet, every time the citizens are looking at either the kaiju or something horrible happening, they're just like this. And a laser goes through an office building and they all duck and they're like, just look like this. And they're just not given any. It looks like they've been on set for 24 hours and James Gunn is holding them hostage while he's like, which one of you am I replacing with my brother today? And it's just like, what is happening? Why does it feel like this is so, they're just staring at a green screen and they're not being told what they're looking at, how to interact with Superman? I mean, that shot from the trailer where it's slow-mo and the pipes are shooting out at the little girl and Superman comes in slow-mo and protects her. They cut and Superman's looking up at the kaiju after he's like cradling her and she's like this. It's like, dude,
And see, I took that completely opposite as the complacency of being your city being attacked every day, like the classic comic book
Did you
trope
not hear what he
of.
just said?
Yeah,
Jason,
no, I know, and I think that that's the other side of it. Is that's supposed to be the joke of it? In comic book cities, it's like, oh, 2:00, it's going to be our space invasion of the day, and it kind of happens. It's like
you're
they
talking about the humanity. A second ago, you're talking about, wow, this movie's about being human. No fucking human would act like that. If
human in
bombs
a
were going
comic
off,
book.
lasers are shooting, you would like be like peeking around the corner and just being like, can I get a loaf of bread today, or am I getting sawed off? And then you'd run back and you'd be in constant anxiety and terror. You wouldn't just being like, I wonder if I'm going to die today. Nobody's like that. That's not a human emotion. There's nothing human about that.
It works for The Incredibles, because The Incredibles is leaning into that like jokey of like, this is like if if people were just kind of numb to it, but it's a cartoon. This
That's
is not a
exactly what
cartoon.
this is. This is a Incredibles is a great comparison to this movie. Like I feel like that's the same sort of vibes that they're both trying to do with
The
this movie.
Incredibles
If
was
you looked at it more
aware.
like Incredibles,
Incredibles
this
was
is
aware
what
of it. I feel like James Gunn did not. There's no moment that like leans into, or like there's nothing about it that just makes the people of Metropolis not look bored. And that's just, to me, that's not an act of choice. It's just a lack of, James Gunn's just worried about like, okay, it's gonna like the kaiju's gonna be here and Superman's gonna do this, and he's not thinking of the big picture. He's not thinking of like, how would everyone else react? He's just thinking of, but then Mr. Terrific will come in, and then Green Lantern will come in, and everyone will like my great song I play when I play
James
that
Gunn
song.
voice. You're just like some
Is
mad
that what James Gunn
scientist.
sounds like, Jason, as
Yeah,
the only person of this trio that's met him?
No, he does not sound like a mad scientist, like in his basement. Jafar or something like that. I don't know. That is
The plot, the best that I could surmise while I was watching the movie, is that Lex Luthor, his plan is to turn everyone against Superman and get Superman to get criminalized by the government and destroy his image. So he's waged a war between Israel and the Palestinians, so that he can create a conflict, so that he can have a clone of Superman, then fight Superman. And he's somehow going to drag Superman's name through the mud because of this. But then he gets gifted this video of Jor-El and his mom with maybe the corniest written be an evil guy ever, where they're just like, so I'm getting a little separated here, but I'll come right back to the Palestinians versus Israel. But the video of Jor-El and his mom, where initially he gets a video and it's them being like, you're going to be the savior to the world. It's wonderful. Isn't that awesome? Remember, you have a superhero or an S on the chest. They didn't say that at that moment, but the S on the chest, everyone knows that means hope. He comes to the planet as a symbol of hope. But no, Lex Luthor figures out, recreates the rest of the video, but it's authentic. And it's them being like, we want you to have a harem and to spread your seed to all the women of the planet, and you will rule over these idiots. And it's just written so poorly. Like, it could have been written better. But even though a lot of people are mad that Jor-El is like now evil and the plan is evil, I don't like that either. But I think that it could have been handled better. It could have been much more matter of fact. Like, you are a god. These people are peasants. Like, you will be the best thing
like
for these
Omni-Man.
people.
Like Omni-Man.
Yeah, it's like just like they're beneath you, but like you can still rule, and it will ultimately make their lives better. Like, it could have been like, we're gods and they're peons. That would have been interesting, but it was written so hackily. So I'll come back to the Israel and Palestinian thing. Jason, what did you think of the Jor-El twist of him being evil, essentially?
Yeah, I kind of agree on that point. I didn't enjoy that twist. I thought it was an easy way to like tie up that package of Lex being able to smear Superman, and the fact that he just kind of stumbled upon it too. It's like, oh, perfect. The golden egg I needed was right here, and the engineer can easily get into this and figure it out what Superman couldn't figure out for 30 years. So yeah, that was definitely a plot hole, yes, as far as the movie goes. And yeah, that I feel like that is the biggest concern with this movie is the changing of the origin of Superman, which I totally understand, which they didn't mess with too much, but I feel like it needed some sort of shake, to make it a little bit different as far as the beginning. But no, I'm not going to defend that one. I'll agree with you on that guy. Yeah, that was a poor choice in how the writing went on that one.
I don't really. I was just gonna say, yeah, I agree. I don't like it. I do, and I kind of said this in our preview video of like, you can't just do the same thing over and over again. You can't just be like, we're gonna show the origin story. It's gonna be all about Mom and Pa Kent. We're just gonna spend all this time in the Fortress of Solitude, which they do spend more time in there than I'd care. And yeah, it's just so convenient that it's just like, all I have to do is get to the Fortress of Solitude, and we're gonna find the perfect thing that's gonna ruin Superman in 2 seconds. We're gonna go from Superman, he literally gets the video and is on a talk show releasing the video completely authentically to the internet that everybody buys immediately, and then in 30 seconds decide, "We hate Superman." It's so rushed. It's very similar to, like, almost like the Daredevil Born Again thing, where it's just like, and Kingpin's back, and he's elected mayor, and everybody loves him, and it's just like, "What the fuck just happened?" And it doesn't feel any sort of, like, real timing. Um, and yeah, it does retroactively ruin the whole Superman thing. What is the symbol supposed to mean? Harem? Mass assault? Like, what? Maybe, like, does he have to, like, tear away his symbol? I don't know.
It's basically a Nazi symbol now. Like, it is like this is the
Yeah.
symbol that represents we're going to take over your planet. Like, so it just doesn't seem very well thought out. Could have been handled better.
Hope for Kryptonians. That's what it is. It's not hope for humans. It's hope
This
for
is like the
Kryptonians
rebel
living a
flag.
long, healthy
It's like,
life.
no, to some people, it doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
So for
The
Kryptonians,
swastika used to mean something very different back in the day.
Kryptonians have been displaced, and now they need this land that other people are already there. But they're like,
Oh
no, we
God.
need to take over the
Oh
land.
God.
Anyway, that gets me back to my original point. So
Gotta live.
Israel and Palestine. So yeah, it's a very convoluted plot. So he's trying to frame Superman and get people to turn against Superman. He's using a clone of Superman to kick his ass.
There's evil. There's even, well, actually, just as evil Benjamin Netanyahu.
I need to
That actor did a fantastic job, by the way. I loved him.
I
For
do
some
think
reason
that
he
guy
was good.
was deliciously Snively Whiplash evil.
Yeah, the hair too. How the hair was crazy, and how he just seemed so.
There's like, he has the
original,
girls
yeah.
that are like, "You're so handsome, you're
Yes.
beautiful."
Yeah, that was funny. I did like that guy's character. It was funny because I was just like, okay, so Benjamin Netanyahu is the villain of the movie, and then
Just on the nose.
apparently this guy, the actor, looks like a other Israeli historical figure. I need to double check that, Remy. If you find that, go ahead and put it up.
Okay, I
So
will.
anyway, because James Gunn claimed that this had nothing to do with Israel and Palestine, and anyone with half a brain watched this was like, sure, bud. Anyway.
Well, that type of shit's going on like every day somewhere, you know.
It is an evergreen thing. The more well funded country attacking the poor country with a bunch of people that are just civilians. It's a tale as old as time. So in the theater, I was like, so if you have a Superman clone, wouldn't it have been way easier to simply have Superman clone put on a Superman suit and do bad things, and then everyone turns against Superman? Like, seemed like that would have been a way more streamlined way of getting your plan. But it just seemed like James Gunn created like, okay, I want this conflict over here, but B storyline, and then I'm going to have a time rip or a dimension rip happen, and it just got so messy by the end. And then Superman never even goes to Gaza to do anything. They send the Justice Gang, which is way more efficient at doing their job than Superman is, because all Green Lantern has to do is this, and he kills a bunch of IDF soldiers, and that's the
magical middle finger.
I did really enjoy it. That was really funny.
It was a fun God mode. I'm not denying that, but it just made no sense. Then I'm just like, okay, so this is, and Jason, I need you to help me here. This is the problem. The ultimate problem with James Gunn's story, to me, is that either you need to go full, like Remy said, you need to go more cartoonish and lean into that and be very aware of that. Or if you're going to add in real life consequences kind of things, like Superman's an alien and what are his jurisdictions. And that was a very interesting scene between him and Lois Lane, where Lois Lane is grilling him. And he's like, people are dying. And I do feel like he had very limited dialogue, which was lame. I think he should have been able to expand more on that. But he kept saying, look, people are dying. But she was asking him, like, what right do you have to go into these sovereign nations and attack? And that is an interesting concept. But then the Justice Gang, who are not aliens, they are Americans, they go into Israel, kill IDF soldiers, and it's like, well, folks, our job here is done. It's like, we introduced the idea that there are consequences to superheroes doing things that they're not allowed to do. Why can BlackRock's a team of supers just go and kill America's greatest ally, which they even have that line. Lois Lane says that, like, oh, they're our greatest ally or something like that. Like, my
really on
brain
the
is
nose.
doing this.
Well, at that point, I felt like we had already figured out that Lex was like the mastermind behind everything. That he was even supplying
Girl.
troops.
Did anyone tell Benjamin
Yeah.
Netanyahu that when Hot Girl was flying him over the Gaza Strip?
Yeah, Dora the Explorer playing Hot Girl too. That was funny. Yeah, I felt like at that point we had already figured out that they were the bad guys, so we didn't care anymore about their lives. Like they were the
Tell that.
Lex's $1 billion like army that he had funded for his little country army over there, and this bad guy's army and stuff like that. At that point, we're like, oh yeah, no, we can toss these guys. We have already figured out who the good and bad guys were. Yeah, I didn't get those feelings at that point. I felt like it had shifted as soon as like whatever Lois's report came out from the news squad, the assemble news team.
So I gotta say, my favorite story of the whole movie, which props to James Gunn. James Gunn brought back cleavage. He brought back chicks being hot.
Homegirl.
So God bless him. There's a chick that works for the Daily Planet. I have no idea what her name is or whether or not she's a real character from the comics or not. Doesn't matter. But she's got titties that just perk up, just big old perky titties. And she's just there, being there. And then at some point, they're like, Lois Lane's going to fly a spaceship and we're going to go save Superman and broadcast a message or something. And so they get in a spaceship. And this whole story of her, of the tit lady, is that she's just around with cleavage. She doesn't really offer anything. But then there's a slow-mo celebratory shot when Metropolis is saved, and she's jumping up and down, and her tits are bouncing in slow-mo as everyone's high-fiving. And I was like, this whole character was created. So at the end of the movie, James Gunn could have a slow-mo shot of tits bouncing. I
remember 14-year-old boys were the target audience of this, that they're going to be rewatching that scene over and over and over and over again. But yeah, I mean, it was the classic comic book though, where it's tying up everything super quick under the guise of like this massive like world ending situation happening also, so yeah, it was news team assembling, fight from the multiverse coming out while the whole world was getting destroyed, which, I mean, yeah, thousands of the comics behind me all end exactly like that, where it's huge, big, and then it's all done kind of thing. So it didn't seem that weird or jarring to me. It felt like that's what needed to happen, like a bunch of bows tied real quick.
Bonk, Jason. By the way, that's a bonk. Huge, big, and it's done.
And a mulligan. Rem, any other thoughts or tidbits that you want to touch on for this movie?
Yeah, okay, so I have some quotes that I just love from this movie. My favorite is, I mean, this is snakes on a plane level line, and again, I burst out laughing in the theater. This is why you don't create a damn pocket universe. Come on, dude. That shit is hilarious. It was just like,
that Mr. Terrific, is that him?
Yeah, dude, the way he says it, it's like it's not supposed to be a joke, but that is a hilariously corny line. And then my favorite, and this is just a classic shtick of that I hate, is when you have a character that's super intelligent, supposed to be super intelligent. Actually, I think they used this in Reacher season 3. What does he say? Brain beats brawn? Does he say that in Reacher?
It sounds like something he would say.
He might say it when he's fighting the bigger guy.
Yeah, when he's fighting the bigger guy, like right when he the gun backfires and kills him.
Yeah,
I think he says it because, yeah, so Lex Luthor says, like, when he's like fighting and beating up Superman via Ultraman, he's just screaming and he's just like, brain beat brawn. And I'm just like, yep, that's what super geniuses say. Super geniuses have to tell you that their brain is so big that it's better than your muscles.
My favorite line, the only time I chuckled in the movie, I didn't find much of the movie funny on purpose, but the one line I did like, Alan Tudyk does one of the voices. He basically does K2SO for one of the Superman robots, and at the end, he's like, Superman is back at the Fortress of Solitude, and Alan Tudyk is there, and he's like, I would like a name. He's like, oh well, Four's a name, and he's like, so is Gary. I don't know why. I just thought it was very Alan Tudyk delivery and K2SO. I thought it was funny. I laughed. Jason, what other are there anything else or other characters you want to gush over, or things that unthinkably
Yeah, I
missed.
was just looking through the cast, and I mean, much as I hated the news team, I did like Jimmy Olsen, like that kind of character, and just
Oh,
kind of how they did figure out how what Lex was doing because of the crazy girl was obsessed with him and the pictures and things like that. I thought that was clever, actually, how they that got delivered and stuff. So props to the Skylar. Oh man, Gasconda, whoever played Jimmy Olsen, I think did really well. Yeah, Frank Grillo. I didn't realize that was Rick Flag. Like that was
yeah, they call him General Flag.
yeah. But I always like him because he's in Marvel stuff too. I feel like, but yeah, he was good. Of course, yeah. Sean Gunn getting thrown in, cameo by Peacemaker. I always love me some Cena getting thrown in there. Mr. Terrific, I felt like did a great job. I liked Perry White. The Wendell Pierce is playing him.
I like Barry
Like
White.
yeah,
I wish he was in the movie more because I
yeah,
really like when he was on screen. He had that just like old. I have a cigar, smoking indoors,
yeah.
and like in the small cockpit. Like nobody even mentions it. He's just smoking a cigar constantly, but has that like go getter. Like, all right, we got the story. We're going with the story. I really liked him, but he wasn't in the movie very long.
Yeah, very J. Jonah Jameson like feel to him, yeah, and everything. So I really like we said, the cast on this was just fantastically casted. So yeah, we could gush over that for a while. So but no, I liked this movie. I really liked it. I didn't love it, but I really liked
So
it.
score, Jason.
I said 8 out of 10 when I first saw it, but I'll creep it towards a little more of a 9 out of 10. And and it's funny that you guys say it was so James Gunn. I felt like he didn't go so James Gunn on it. Like he held back on the music things. I thought it was going to be music throughout the entire movie and him doing the same shit he did on Guardians. Like once I saw that it was just that one Mr. Terrific scene, I think that we got the music for. Maybe during that kaiju scene there was like music, but I felt like he restrained himself with that fact. But we were not the target audience, but like I felt like I was reading a comic book while I was watching this movie. So that's why I really enjoyed it.
Ram final score.
Mm, uh, 6.5 out of 10. Like it's not a
Wow,
terrible
that's
movie. That's the
high
thing.
for you. Haven't said one nice thing about this movie,
I
other than
know
the
it's
cast, I
it's
guess.
but it's like again, like I do think cast is and nailing characters I think is important, and I think for the most part everybody did a really good job. I think it's just yeah 6. It's like a 6 where it's like it's not a super poorly constructed movie where like yeah the CG is terrible and all the actors are bad. It's like there are good elements. I think it's just a mess. I think that's like it's a mess and it's overstuffed and convoluted and stuff like that. But um so yeah, 6 out of 10.
Jason, to your point about the music, I do agree. James Gunn. Well, this movie did not need any of those type of musical. It's a Superman movie. Like, what are we doing? So when Mr. Terrific has his song playing, it was so out of place. It was cool in a vacuum, but it was just very much like this is so James Gunn. There was another sequence like that, but it was restrained. Which this is kind of the problem is that so they have John Williams' score in the movie, which is obviously incredible, but
Oh, really?
yeah,
What's that?
it's his original theme that they use over and over and over and
Oh,
over
yes.
again.
I did hear that.
And this is what James Gunn didn't do in Guardians 3. Guardians 3, we almost never hear the Guardians theme, and it's just song after song after song after song. When I feel like that movie could have really benefited from having the score more in it, the orchestral score more present. But the problem is that the scenes are so undercut by the fact that Superman never really gets anything really cool to do. So the music starts building, and the best I can describe it, it's like having pizza scented air freshener, where like I'm like, oh, the music's playing, it's John Williams' score. It's like tricking your brain into being like, oh, and then it just Superman just gets his ass kicked, and someone else does something cool. Oh, and then it does it again later in the movie. Oh, it's pizza. It's pizza. Oh, it's just the air freshener. There's no pizza. There's no pizza. So that was disappointing. Last thing I'll say, of all the self inserts or inserts of people he likes, the self insert of James Gunn. Did you guys catch it? There is so Lex Luthor, who I will say,
Sean or James?
James Gunn.
Okay,
So
he's in it.
so
Oh.
Lex Luthor, I thought Nicholas Hoult actually was. I thought he was miscast, but I thought he did really well until James Gunn wanted him to act like a crybaby, and then it was terrible. I was like, "Why? This is not interesting." Whatever. I thought Nicholas Hoult was pretty good. one of the monkeys, he has an army of monkeys that are trolling online constantly,
Oh yeah.
24/7. And one of the monkeys is this silver-haired monkey who's tweeting out about all these jokes about how much he loves being a pedophile. Oh no, wait, that was James Gunn in real life. Silly me. I just thought it was funny that this guy tried to have some social commentary about like people that rage and say horrible things online, and it's like, dude, that's fucking you. You were the one that tweeted some of the most horrible, awful things anyone could read, trying to make light of the most heinous act imaginable. And you're trying to be like, look at all these mean people that tweet at celebrities. Like, dude, look in the mirror, dude. You look in the mirror.
I didn't catch that. Wow.
I made up that silver-haired monkey part. That was just a setup for the joke. He wasn't actually silver-haired, but... And he actually wasn't in the movie, and he did not tweet those things in the movie. But in real life, he did. Anyway, that's it. And that's last week.